Okay, that should work. That should work.
Or do you still have your cum thing?
Oh, yeah. Well, I have several other ones. Cum. But I still have the cum one.
Love it. I was watching... I didn't actually notice, right? But I saw the, I'm not sure which movie it was, whether it was The Flash or Across the Spider-Verse, but they showed the trailer for the new Transformers movie, and I swear to God, I was actually not expecting Optimus Prime to say, "Let them come," in the trailer. Like, that is a fucking phrase he says. And I was like, he actually says that shit. I thought that was just a meme.
Well, here's a question. What's worse? And we could even include this in the podcast because it's funny. What's worse? Having Optimus Prime say, "Let them come," or in the Michael Bay movies, every time he goes, "Give me your face! I'm gonna kill you! I'm gonna rip you apart!" And now I'm Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
When you're looking into the stars, think of them as my soul. Okay. What the fuck does that mean?
How many times does Optimus Prime die in those films?
How many times has he died in general?
That is true. He dies in
yeah.
that. He died in that OG animated film as well. I remember watching that as a kid. That was sad.
You know the really fun. You want to know the really fun behind the scenes story about that?
What?
So at the same time they were doing the G.I. Joe animated movie, and they both agreed that we are going to kill off, we're going to kill off Optimus Prime in Transformers, and we're going to kill off Duke in G.I. Joe. But Transformers came out first, and obviously their whole intention was out with the old, in with the new, because kids don't give a fucking shit about this thing, and boy were they fucking wrong, because obviously the death of Optimus Prime traumatized everybody, and it wasn't like, oh, he died, but he'll come back in the end. No, he's gone. So they were going to kill off Duke, and the reaction to this movie terrified them so badly. And they already animated it. There was a giant cobra that practically rips his heart out, and just blood squirting everywhere, and he dies. But at the very end of the movie, after everything's defeated, there is a voiceover. You don't see anyone. You don't see who's talking. You just hear a voiceover going, "Hey everybody! Duke just woke up from his coma. He's gonna be A-OK."
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That is fucking hilarious.
That is what you call a fucking shit show of a reaction.
You know, I don't know. I kind of have a similar thing on that with the Superman Lois episode, the follow up to season 4. That kind of I'm. The reason why I say it is because...
I might know what you're talking about.
Yeah, because of the budget costs, cuts and shit. I'll talk about that later, but anyways, I'll bloody sign us into the episode, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Everyone, welcome to another episode of Movie Comics and Life. I'm your host, Patrick7, and I'm here again with RCK Films, Rob, Nicolas Cage, Superman.
Hello. I'm glad everyone is acknowledging the genius behind Nicolas Cage as Superman.
Oh my God.
Which we'll get into more later, probably.
My mom was at a concert recently, and I literally, let's see if I have it here. She was at a concert, and she was sending me just a bunch of pictures and selfies of her and my sister at this concert, and she was bombarding me with it. I was like, okay, this is a lot of photos. What do you want me to say? So she sent the 11th picture, and I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna reply with this. And I just sent her that. And she was just like, what is that? And I was like, that is from The Flash.
No context whatsoever.
Just there you go.
Oh my God. That's brilliant. That's the best thing I've heard in a long time.
I know.
And I watched the season 3 of finale of Superman and Lois. That's the best thing I've seen in a long time. Oh my God, that's funny.
I've seen pictures of or memes, sorry, of Nicolas Cage pulling up to. Oh right, shit. Spoilers for The Flash.
Who gives a shit? Everyone knows. Everyone known this for like 3 years. It's one of the worst kept secrets in the world. But yeah, in case you haven't seen it.
Yeah, but like, there's just memes of
Spoiler
like
alert.
Nicolas Cage pulling up to the fucking premiere of The Flash, and it's just him with that face. Oh my god, I can't wait to talk about that later on.
I have so much to say.
Yeah. But hey, we got a lot to talk about. As we're recording this,
if you're a Superman fan, it's been a good week.
It's been a good week.
Finally.
I know, and I mean, like, I've said this before, and I like in an episode or two ago, I said that this is a really great year for Superman, but holy shit, we are like feasting hardcore right now. I mean, it's a great year.
What an 85th.
85th, and I think, isn't it the 40th anniversary of Superman the movie?
40th of Christopher Reeve, yeah.
Yeah, which I think it was a couple of weekends ago. I did go to that live orchestra concert of the.
I saw.
Yeah,
that looked great.
That was an experience. I'll tell you this though. I will tell you this. I couldn't help, right? The main dude who actually like composes the thing, like he's like there and he does his thing with the hands and shit. Apparently he's a composer. He's a popular guy who's been like kind of filling in for John Williams with the Superman score. But I swear to God, when he came out on stage and he walked up, he looked exactly like Joaquin Phoenix from Joker. I shit you not. He really did.
Blonde hair and everything.
Gray hair, really thin, and he just looked like Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, but older. And I was like, what?
They're really going at this. Joker 2 as a music video musical art thing.
Yeah, but that was an experience.
That was the worst.
But nonetheless, that was an amazing experience. Followed the next day by seeing The Flash again, which I got more thoughts on it, and the Hans Zimmer. Jesus Christ, that was way more bloody. So much of like an actual like rock concert than I thought it fucking was.
Especially if he plays the Dune soundtrack. I know you said you haven't seen
the movie yet. I haven't seen it, but I know what you're talking about because I was like listening to it and I was like, that sounds like it's from Dune. And then when I looked at it afterwards, I was like, yeah, shit, that was from Dune. That's like, I think he opens with Dune. And I was immediately like...
Oh, good.
I was immediately like, I do not know what this fucking is. But I am teleported to a different galaxy. I do not know where I am right now, but I am unsafe. I don't know if this was...
It is...
I don't know if this was...
nuts. The whole soundtrack is insane.
The concert, right? I'll tell you this. Like, I don't know if this is just my like anxieties or whatever, but I just said to myself, you know, if something were to happen to me right now, if I don't know, I just collapsed because of some medical condition or whatever, I'd be fine.
Or a piano falls in your head.
Yeah, something. I don't know. A dude turns around to me and just like stabs me or something. I'm like, you know what? Look where I am right now. I'm listening to this. Okay.
Yeah. It's on a bucket list before people have a bucket list to see Hans Zimmer live.
It's insane. If Hans Zimmer does tour again and he comes to Chicago or whatever, I so recommend it. It's an experience.
Oh, I should go. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I'll bring my mom too because she there's a lot of like music scores that she really likes, and when I tell her it's all the same guy, it like blows her fucking mind. Totally. Like again, like I keep reminding her that like the guy who did The Lion King did the music for the Christian Bale Batman movies, and he did the music for this and he did the music for that, and I think what was it, Prince of Egypt he did as well, I think. Yeah. No, what's the one? Is it Prince of Egypt or Hunchback of Notre Dame? What am I thinking of?
I'm not too
one
sure.
of them.
Yeah.
I think it's Prince of Egypt that he also did, and it's mind blowing, totally mind blowing.
He actually like one of the soundtracks he did do, which I always keep forgetting he did it, but he said when he was about to do it, he says, "Look, what we're about to do is from a movie that, you know, when you're doing a score, sometimes the product you're doing it for is, all things considered, a fucking shit show, basically." And then he was like saying, I'm not going to name any names or shit, but, you know, that's how it is in this business. And then before he starts, he's like, fuck it, I don't care if they fire me. It's Dark Phoenix. And then he just...
Oh my god! Wow! Wow! Wow!
Literally.
I mean, to be fair, he's always been very critical on the work that he does. Because he said he didn't like Ben Affleck as Batman.
Oh, did he?
He said he liked Ben Affleck, but he was like, I think the thing is, it was just so far behind the Batman that he did.
Yeah.
And it didn't feel right.
Well, yeah,
and like the killing and stuff, it didn't feel right with him.
I can see his point of view as he was doing the Dark Knight trilogy, and that's kind of probably his depiction of Batman in many ways. So,
yeah.
Seeing an Affleck version, I can see his point of view. But yeah, to be honest, I thought when Hans Zimmer was like starting off like that, I kind of thought and I was hoping that he was talking about The Amazing Spider-Man 2. And I was expecting like the electro theme to start playing. I'll be like, "Oh fuck yeah, we're doing this."
Yeah.
Okay.
Did he play at all Amazing Spider-Man 2 stuff? No? Oh fuck.
I know.
Because that's so overlooked. The fact that they didn't play that in No Way Home boggles my mind.
They played like that snippet of Electro's theme when he shows up. Like just
the Electro theme, or just like the Spider-Man theme.
Yeah,
because I think that's better than the first one.
Yeah, like the only theme for the Spider-Man they actually do play is like the Amazing Spider-Man theme, but it's like just a little melody.
Just that's it.
Yeah, but like I'll say this right. One thing that The Flash does with its soundtrack, and we will talk about the soundtrack, its use of the nostalgia is way better handled here than it was in fucking Spider-Man No Way Home, in the way they handled the nostalgia themes in the soundtrack.
You think so?
Well, I mean, like with the when we see Keaton Batman, it's not like they just play it once or twice here and there, sprinkle, or like like for a millisecond.
No, it's very operatic and epic.
Yeah. Whereas, like when in Spider-Man No Way Home, and not just Spider-Man No Way Home, but another example, Kenobi, where they could have actually used more nostalgia music in it.
Okay, I agree with the Kenobi one. Yeah. I agree with Kenobi.
But like Spider-Man No Way Home, a disappointing factor for me was its lack of use of its original soundtracks, because they only used it just a little.
Well, I liked whenever they did we were talking about this on Instagram a couple days ago, when they did like the sadder, softer versions of the Toby theme and the first Andrew theme. I thought those worked really, really well. But I wish that they played people say it's the Green Goblin theme. I don't know if I would call it the famous theme, but I would have liked it if they played the same soundtrack that he had in Spider-Man 2002. Would like to hear Doc Ock's theme, Electro's theme, definitely. And that scene when all three of them are everyone's seen it. The scene when all three of them are swinging together. I would have liked it if instead they didn't play the MCU theme.
Yeah.
And they would have played dun-na-na, 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 dun-na-na. Just imagine how epic that would have been. Yeah. So okay, I do see the point you are making. I do like how they handled the music in No Way Home. Yeah. Maybe a little bit better than how they did in The Flash.
Oh, really?
Except for the Keaton stuff.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, except for the Keaton stuff.
That's what I mean.
The Keaton stuff is good.
Yeah, I think the soundtrack overall for No Way Home is way better than the soundtrack for The Flash. But I'm talking about the nostalgia use of the soundtracks.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, that's a fair point. Yeah. That's a fair point.
I didn't mean the soundtrack. I mean, bloody hell.
Okay.
We've already discussed a bit on Instagram about how I feel about the soundtrack for The Flash.
Well, we'll get to it again.
Yeah, we'll get
eventually in this part. Yeah, we'll get to it.
But the way we're doing this is we're all a bit all over the place right now. But we're going to talk about obviously the new announcement of we've literally got our new Superman and Lois for the DCU, and we're also going to talk about just today the season 3 finale of Superman and Lois, the CW show. But and then we're going to talk about The Flash later. So we've got a really, really big episode to talk about here. But I figured we may as well jump in with obviously the really hot news with actually official, and it's the fan casting that everyone's been talking about for months, and some people even years, calling back to 2020 and 2019. Not kidding.
Before Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, bloody. I saw what's his face? Like, he's a famous. He did used to do a lot of famous Superman edits. A Deal of Steel on YouTube. Do you know him? Do you know him? Yeah.
Oh, I know him.
Yeah. He actually made a post back in like 2019, I think, where like David Corenswet did do an interview saying how he said, I'd love to do Superman at one point. I like what Henry Cavill's doing with the dark and gritty take, but I would hope that the next interpretation's more lighter and taking it more of a traditional whatever. And A Deal of Steel said, man, I wouldn't mind this guy replacing Henry. And this was like back in 2019. And here we are today. David Corenswet is our new Superman. And also...
That's so insane, like, to think about. Rachel Braun something. Yeah. I genuinely do forget that last name.
Same.
I did a TikTok about it a couple days ago, and I had to play cosplay Chris saying those names just because of, like, I need someone to say it. I can't remember what it is right now. But yeah, David Corenswet. Boy, it's insane that it's happening, like now. Like everyone's been talking about this. Then Henry was coming back. Then Henry's not there, and we all seen on Twitter how most of the Snyder cultists have been reacting to this news. Like, you get some of the ones that are like, okay, that's fine. It's not Henry, but that's fine. And then you just get real headache responses.
Look, I mean, the people right now, you and I have been very public of how we took the news of Henry Cavill no longer being Superman. We've already expressed how much
we did not handle it well.
We did not handle it well, and there is still a bit of hurt because of it. In many ways, I do see Henry Cavill as like the Andrew Garfield of Superman actors, where they've got such a perfect casting, but he's given such unfortunate and, just the material that didn't really gel well with everyone. So he was... I don't think he was as overlooked as Andrew Garfield was, because even though Henry Cavill wasn't given the best material, he was still beloved by the public. I
have even like a hotter take about that, where it's like, with both movies, like with Mark Webb and Zack Snyder, Mark Webb wanted to do Spider-Man. He just wanted to do a modernized Spider-Man. It was mostly, Sony that was kind of messing it up. And even he, like, writing-wise, it wasn't great, but he wanted to do Spider-Man that he, knew and loved. Zack Snyder, as talented as he is, and I do like Zack Snyder a lot, he wanted to do his Superman. He didn't want to do Superman. Yeah. So there's that kind of thing. And that's how Henry got, unfortunately, tied into all that. Because when you look at Henry again, you just can't help but think that this is the most Superman-looking guy ever. And that's why everyone was so scared, like, oh my god, what? Is the next Superman going to be Nicholas Hoult? Oh, the guy just doesn't look like Superman at all. And no shame, no, hate towards Nicholas Hoult at all. I feel really bad for him because he got screwed over off Batman and now The Flash, Superman. I do think he could be a good Barry Allen. Yep. But David Corenswet, I feel like, at least for me, the second I heard that news, it was like such a sigh of relief of like, okay, this is the more, out of like everyone else we've heard, we had that Wolfgang actor that looks a lot like Christopher Reeve, but I don't know if his acting was that great. We have Nicholas Hoult, we got a few other guys, we got that Pierce dude, who again is like very newer. He heavily auditioned for the role of Superman, I know that.
You sent me that video he did where he was on the flying rig doing the flight and shit. And I'll admit, it was cool. I was like, okay, this dude can do the action of Superman really well. And not to mention, he's got the fucking physicality. That guy is ripped. Jesus.
And he's a farmer, too. True farm boy.
Yeah, so he's definitely got, like, probably just 50% of that role nailed down. It's just the other 50%, which is obviously the acting and shit, and actually, like, embodying the character. Which I think... Yeah. I think that David definitely has over, like, practically... I mean, because, like, look, once David was cast, literally not even, like, 2 minutes, and this was, because, like, I had this on my Netflix list to watch, which is that Hollywood show he's in. Because like I was like saying, you know what, if at any stage there is something, you know, David is Superman, this would be my go-to thing to watch to get familiar with his work.
Mm-hmm.
And the second it was happening, I was like, Netflix, let's go. And I started watching it, and literally 6 minutes in, I was like, yeah, just give this to anyone, and you'll be convinced that this guy is great for Superman. I mean,
I'm excited to see how he could do Clark Kent, because I'm assuming in that same show, there's that scene where he's talking about being a super.
Yeah,
you know, being an extra doesn't get you that much, and just his whole persona was very Clark Kent.
Yeah, it is. That's what I mean. And it's like, literally, like in the first couple of minutes, he's like he's in the public, right? And he's like trying to like. There's a big crowd of people trying to get in to be background actors, and the way he's like he's kind of like bumbling through people, saying sorry, all that, and it was just so Clark Kent, and he had like the hat and shit, and I was like, it's Clark, he's right there. I mean,
it's the bumbling Clark, especially. So I hope he does. Well, actually, okay. So here's something I'll ask you. How do you think they should handle Clark Kent, the persona? Not like who he actually is, but like should he be like another bumbling idiot, or should it be like kind of yin and yang, where it's like,
Leonard?
Yeah, he's clumsy. Yeah, he's clumsy, but like he's still a good reporter.
Yeah.
Like if he sees something, he will go after it.
Yeah, it's kind.
I guess like Dean Cain.
Yeah, I was literally about to say Dean Cain.
Yeah.
And I suppose Tom Welling in a way, wasn't he, when he goes?
Yeah, Tom Welling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, James Gunn, I think knowing James Gunn, he'd be able to use a bit of the bumbling factor and making it actually funny and working in a modern sense.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I think James Gunn has definitely the capability to do that, and he's probably going to do that, so I'm going to go say, yeah, make him a bit bumbly just for the comedic factor that James Gunn is so well to do. Because, look, I don't want Superman to Legacy to be as funny. I'm not saying it shouldn't have humor. It's nice to have it, but I don't want it to be...
It's a James Gunn movie. It's going to have humor.
Yeah,
but
I don't want it to be, like, as fucking, like, Guardians of the Galaxy level. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of like a different...
Well, I mean, the first one especially... Maybe the first and second one were funnier than the third one. I want it to be like the third one.
Yeah.
Where it's like, yeah, there's funny, and when there's funny moments, it's really funny. But it's genuinely like, this is a serious movie.
There's that certain humor that James Gunn has. It's like, when people are having a conversation, and they talk about, like someone makes this weird mistake or something during the conversation, and they really dive into that one specific mistake that he makes, and it kind of manifests, and then a lot more people talk about it. Like, for example, in Guardians of the Galaxy 3, where, two examples, actually. Drax tries to lie down on the couch a bunch of times.
Oh, yeah.
And also where, like, when Peter is trying to talk to Gamora with his speaker things, he presses the wrong button, and then everyone's like, "We can hear you," and he's like, "What?" And then it's like a 2-minute conversation of, "Oh, you know, this color's for this is for that, this is for this. You press this button and it's loud and shit," and it goes on for a bit. And I don't know if that type.
You got an idiot friend too? I know exactly what that's like.
Okay, that type of humor I kind of like. That's
funny.
That was fucking hilarious.
That's funny. But here's the other thing, like that, and I think I can say it's safe to say James Gunn can get this. That humor, even though it could go on a bit, that works for Drax, that works for Mantis, that works for Peter Quill. Superman, it's very. I mean, okay. I could see Daily Planet scenes being really funny.
Yeah, me too. It was kind of like that in the Richard Donner film.
Jimmy Olsen and Perry White. Like, here's how I kind of imagine it, and I think because I didn't get to it when I talked about my Phase 1, but in my universe, Perry White and Jimmy Olsen, they have like a father and son kind of relationship almost, where like he'll never acknowledge Jimmy Olsen. But if any, and he'll always like kind of roast Jimmy Olsen. But the second anyone says anything negative about him, he'll be like, "Don't you dare talk about my fucking photographer like that! How dare you get out of my office! I'll see you tomorrow." You know, he sounds more like J. Jonah Jameson. Anyway, Or, like, I will write, like, when Zod's attacking Metropolis and everything like that, it's Perry White and Jimmy Olsen that's embracing each other. Like, are we gonna die? So, if they could do something like that, I think that'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, don't make Lex Luthor comedic.
Oh.
And I know James Gunn said he's not going to.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God.
I remember very specifically, like, I know Michael Rosenbaum in that podcast he did with James Gunn about Lex. I know we're really just now just talking about Superman Legacy over the actual casting, but we'll circle back to that in a minute. But I do feel that, like, in that specific comment where Michael Rosenbaum was telling James Gunn to hopefully not do a version that sounds almost identical to Jesse Eisenberg. Oh yeah.
Well, funny enough, they were thinking Gene Hackman.
Oh really?
Yeah, because James Gunn said we were not talking about Eisenberg, which is insane because I feel like Michael was talking about Jesse Eisenberg.
That's what I mean.
James Gunn was mostly talking about Gene Hackman.
Yeah,
I love Gene Hackman. I don't love him as Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
So, yeah, both versions of Lex. Like, just no, that's not how you should do this.
But the thing we were talking about with Nicholas Hoult, unfortunately not getting Superman or Batman when he tried to do with the Matt Reeves movies. I said this to you. I feel like James Gunn is definitely. I say Nicholas Hoult is such a talented actor, and he is familiar. He's clearly shown a lot of interest in comic book roles because he was Beast. Mm-hmm. He tried for Batman, and now he's tried for Superman. So he definitely wants to be in this genre, and I don't think James Gunn is blind enough to, like, not see that and also be like, I could see you for something else. I'm gonna have you in my back pocket or for something, you know.
Well, like I said, Tom Hiddleston auditioned for Thor. Yeah. He didn't get Thor. They instead used him for Loki. Cillian Murphy auditioned for Batman. They used him for Scarecrow. And I'm sure there's plenty of other examples in my head right now. I
can see Nicholas Hoult, like you said, as the Flash. I could actually see him as Nightwing a bit. I could see him playing.
It depends on what Bruce Wayne they have.
Yeah. But
I would like to see Nicholas Hoult as a Dick Grayson becoming Batman.
Yes, that would be
cool.
That'd be kind of poetic.
That would be good.
Yeah, I'd like that. And, like, look,
that would be really. Yeah.
And look, with the Matt Reeves movies, for that version of Bruce Wayne they were going, I could see a version of Nicholas Hoult playing that. I can see that just because of the way they were doing that. But for Superman, I mean, like I said, with Superman, 50% of the role is how you look. It's just one of those roles. Yeah. It really does matter. Your looks kind of do matter a lot when it comes to Superman.
This isn't Tim Burton's Superman Lives, and I know I talk about that movie so many times, but genuinely, this is not what that is. Yeah. They're trying to make this as, like, maybe not comic book accurate, but, like, make it feel like you're reading a Superman comic. And when you look at Superman, you have a distinct look about him. He's either Christopher Reeve, he's either Henry Cavill, he's either Tyler Hoechlin, or Tom Welling. And now, finally, we got an actor who people say looks like Henry Cavill and Tom Welling. I don't see Tom Welling at all. Like, I don't see the resemblance to Tom Welling at all, but I definitely do see a little bit of, like, Wish.com Henry Cavill, as some people have called him.
with the Tom Welling aspect, what I see with that is actually more so the lips. For both, I can see a similarity between the two, like with David Corenswet's lips and Tom Welling, and
he's also the tallest actor we've ever had to play Superman. He beat Christopher Reeve's height. He is 6'4".
Who? Tom Welling?
No, David Corenswet.
He's 6'4".
He's a little bit taller than Christopher Reeve.
Holy shit!
Or around the same height. I'm not entirely sure, but yes, he is. I think he is going to be listed as the tallest actor who's ever played Superman.
Oh my god! I'll be honest. Watching, like, Hollywood, he was a tall guy, but, like, I didn't think he was that fucking tall. Holy shit!
You didn't feel that really when you watch him in other stuff. He was in what was that one movie he was in? I can't remember the name of it, but it was about, like, this Yes. So that's an interesting movie to watch if you haven't seen it, and you can kind of get a sense of like his shyness a little bit, and I would like to see him implement like a Clark Kent, a shy kind of Clark Kent style to him. Yeah. But you definitely can kind of see how tall he is, even though he's standing next to like probably a smaller actress, but like the height is there. So he is tall, and I'm looking at a photo of him right now, and you mentioned the lips, and maybe a little bit of Tom Welling. I see a little bit, but for example, I look at this photo.
Oh my God!
Him.
Yeah, that's a Henry Cavill picture right there.
Well, yeah, because it's next to a photo of Henry Cavill. But I've always saw this photo, and you know who I think he looks like in this one?
What?
He looks like Charlie Cox.
Bruh, you know what? Right, listen. I was gonna bring this up, but you see his voice? It sounds like Charlie Cox's American accent.
Charlie Cox almost played Superman.
Oh my God,
There's that.
He did, didn't he?
Yeah, and a weird idea of a movie, but I probably would have liked to seen it. But he would have been the smallest Batman we've ever had. Superman we've ever had. But
holy shit, yeah. Like I was literally about to say at some point in this podcast for like saying that David Corenswet's American accent, which is his normal accent. He's not English or anything. He is American.
No, he's American, yeah.
Yeah, but like the way he talks, it sounds like the way Charlie Cox, who's English, trying to do an American accent. I don't know.
I would thought like Charlie Cox or like Benedict Cumberbatch. They have kind of like similar like voices that they do
when they're American. Like it's definitely a lot more like I don't want to say forced, but it's like there's a certain tone to the voice.
It's like gruff.
Yeah. And David Corenswet has that.
I don't believe in magical aspects about life, and I'm just a doctor.
Yeah,
kind of.
And David Corenswet generally just has that as his voice, which, you know what? I mean, that's cool. That's cool. It's like.
Also, people call him the skinniest Superman. Dude just got the part. Henry Cavill was skinny too. Well, not skinny, but Henry Cavill wasn't buff before he got, Superman. It was Superman that got him ripped.
Yeah, Henry Cavill was like, before he got Superman, he just did Immortals, which he was like super shredded, lean. Like he was a fit guy, and he was
lean.
He was lean and buff in the sense that he was really fit, but he wasn't like bulky big, basically. So.
No.
Yeah. But yeah, knowing like bloody how actors get with these roles, David Corenswet, and look. I've seen David Corenswet shirtless, even just there in the first episode of Hollywood. There's a scene where he's about to have sex with someone, and I see him shirtless there, and I'm like, yeah, he's got a good foundation to really build on right there.
It's like a more leaner Tyler Hoechlin, because Tyler Hoechlin is like he's ripped too, maybe just a little bit more ripped than David is currently, but I think the way Tyler's body looks, that's like the perfect, that's like a healthy type of ripped for Superman. Yeah. Because being Henry, even Henry has said, that's a lot of like pressure on your body to keep that.
Yeah, Tyler Hoechlin, his physique, right? Like his body, right? It's definitely a more Batman type of body, I say, than Superman. Superman is definitely a lot more bigger than that.
Really quick, are you still recording?
Yeah.
On your side?
Yeah, I'm still recording.
Okay,
cool.
Cool.
Tyler Hoechlin is definitely he has definitely more of a Batman physique than he does Superman. But I say like what David, David is similar to Tyler, like he's just a bit more puffier than Tyler is, but. Yeah, I can definitely see David really bulking up for Superman with the foundation that he's got.
Oh,
and like all the.
I mean, Chris Pratt bulked up for Star-Lord, and that was another James Gunn movie. So yeah, he'll be fine. He will be fine.
I think it's kind of like, pretty much, it's a mandatory thing when you're auditioning for a superhero role. You cannot expect not to work out for it, like. When you audition,
unless you're Michael Keaton, you can just wear a bodysuit.
Yeah, dude, look, I mean Michael Keaton, right? I'm not sure if you've seen it. The guy
In the first one, he got ripped.
Yeah, the first one he was actually fucking ripped. I saw a picture of him doing like curls with a bag, and I was like, what?
I know what photo you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, he got a good physique.
Yeah, I was like, God damn. Okay, wow.
Yeah.
For an example of someone who didn't do it would probably be like Val Kilmer and George Clooney.
Wesley Snipes, Blade 3.
Oh right, yeah. He didn't do anything, did he?
He didn't do anything. Yeah. And there was at one point where well, I mean, Wesley Snipes was just a total shit show during that whole thing, so I won't get into it that much. But yeah, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 3. They called it, he Blade 3'd it. He didn't really work out at all. So anytime there was like a shirtless, like that scene where he's ripping that suit off him in the church, and you see like a shirtless man like crawling out, that's a body double.
Oh yeah,
so I don't think that
you can fucking tell because like the back of that guy who was on the floor, he was like ripped. Huge. I was like,
huge.
Whoa, 90s Peter Parker.
I'm like, all right. You're not only your back, but the back of your head is different too. My God.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So.
But look, I mean, back to the topic of David Corenswet as Superman. And look, we should probably talk about Rachel as Lois as well. Look, I'm not familiar with Rachel as Lois, so I don't really have...
I'm not either.
I don't have...
But I'm rooting for her. She looks great.
I'm rooting for her, and my mate, Benj, who's been on the podcast before, has definitely talked very highly of her and saying that she has more... She's done more work than David has, and has, like, won Emmys and shit. So she's definitely got a lot going for her. And I think she's in House of Cards as well, I believe, isn't she?
That sounds right.
Yeah.
That sounds right. I think I heard that, yeah.
Yeah, so, but look, I mean, the way she looks like she could be Lois, and apparently she has the attitude and wit to be a Lois Lane, so...
if you got the spunk, you got it. And can this be a Lois Lane that has something to do? Because no shot to Amy Adams, but I feel like... Well, because none of that was her fault. But like that version of Lois Lane was only there to serve the story.
Yeah.
Lois Lane needs to do shit, not just be someone that Superman saves constantly. Which I know that's always like the complaint against Lois. But even like Terry Hatcher's Lois Lane did shit. Yeah. The actress from Smallville, she does stuff. Betsy Tulloch, she's my favorite Lois Lane because she does shit. So. Yeah. So I'm rooting for both of them, man. What a great decision.
I said this.
Yeah.
So I said this to you earlier, but like it's rare. It's been a long time since like when I wake up in the morning, first thing that pops in my head is anything comic book related, even though it's my passion and all. A lot of the times when I wake up in the morning, I'm usually just like already just tired and just like Jesus, all right, get up, go to the bathroom, go downstairs, whatever the fuck, and then I wake up a bit. But then, today, I woke up and I was like, first thing, David is Superman, and I just got up like, fuck yes. Like, literally, I was just so immediately just happy because of that. Like, it's been such a long time since I felt this sort of excitement from a casting or an announcement from a superhero thing.
I stopped the D&D game I was playing yesterday to announce that David Corenswet became Superman. And there was a few reactions of people going like the DM was like, "Oh, I know that guy. That's a great choice." Other people were like, "Who is that?" Okay, yeah, well, he looks the part. And there was one person going, "Oh, he's really hot." And we're like, "Okay."
Well,
okay. So there you go, the perfect Superman.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. No, man, but it's been a long time since there was like a casting announcement and everyone was like, you know what, that's really good.
Yeah.
Like I see the vision.
Yeah, and it's like it's the one that everyone pretty much universally agreed on was the best choice. And even though we were like were upset about Henry, everyone was like, well, if we can get a new one, it'd be this guy.
I have one more thing to say about Henry. So obviously the Snyder cultists, they are very upset, even though they turned their back on Henry when he showed up in Black Adam, wearing his red and blue suit with the John Williams theme playing, because they don't have a fucking backbone. But what I have noticed is that when it comes to this, and they're so upset about this casting decision, listen, you are not a fan of Superman.
Yes.
You are a fan of
Yes.
Henry Cavill.
Yes.
That is the fucking difference. And listen, I love Henry Cavill. He's my Superman for my universe. Or, I don't know, maybe David Corenswet will be it. I don't fucking
I'm
know.
waiting for that.
But, I do see, like, there's gotta be something in the future where Henry will be involved in a Superman project somehow.
I see.
I think it'll be too insane to have him as Jor-El.
Yeah.
Like that what I feel like would be too like don't do that. But don't have him as like anybody else. Like don't make him like he's what's his fucking name? Maxwell Lord now. Like don't do shit like that.
I see a fucking redemption arc for Henry where he'll become the Kingdom Come Superman at some point.
That's what everyone wants. I mean, you know, hey, a younger Superman and the Kingdom Come Superman have technically been in the same room before, if you count those comics.
Yeah.
So you could do like a multiverse Superman story, because I think if there is I know people, you know, we'll talk about it more in the Flash, but I know some people are a little bit tired of like multiverse stories. I say, like, there's so many things you can do with a multiverse that is good, and I feel like one character that deserves, like, a multiverse, like, type of movie is Superman. Yeah. And, you know, either you get Brandon Routh to come back, or I feel like maybe, I say, like, you know, 5 years down the line, he'll get those gray temples in the side of his head, he'll look like the Kingdom Come Superman, and say, yeah, bring Henry on for that. Because, man, he really deserves a shot on it. But, you know what? Henry seems to be doing fine. There's that video where they did a press release for Witcher Season 3, which is his final season. And the audience, you know, they were fucking cheering him on. And he got very emotional. And he knows how much people love him and care about him. He's got Warhammer, and he seems very happy about that. I hope that goes well for him. You know, he's got another movie coming up with someone else. So
you know what?
Henry will be fine.
You know what I feel like Henry should get right now? I feel like if he gets something else that he could just be like, right, you know what, I can retire, I'm good, this is me, is if he gets James Bond. Just give him James.
Yeah.
Because like
there was that news where like the director was like he was supposed to be James
it was like
Bond until Daniel Craig.
Yeah, they said like for Casino Royale they were saying if Daniel Craig never existed and we never met him, it would have been Henry, you know.
He said Henry would have been a phenomenal James Bond. Those were his exact words.
Right. Yeah. So, and Henry Cavill.
Yeah. I hope he gets that. That'll be great.
But like Henry Cavill at that age, especially during Casino Royale, he was really fucking young to be James Bond. He was like early.
He auditioned for Superman in 2003. Yeah. In 2003 he was like what 20 your age maybe or maybe a little bit younger.
Which I mean, depending on what that like Superman Flyby was another early year Superman movie, wasn't it? So it would have been somewhat okay for, but you know obviously that movie didn't happen for reasons. But yeah, but like with a James Bond role, I'd say you'd have to be a bit older to be James Bond. It's a bit like I mean, maybe in this day and age I could see a really young James Bond happening, but in traditional sense, it's you have to be a bit, you know, past your 30s at least to be James Bond.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Fun fact about Superman Flyby. Did you know that Christopher Reeve was almost a casting consultant for that movie?
A casting consultant? You mean like he would help the...
Like they called him up. Yeah, they would call him up and say like, do you have any idea of who you would like to see play Superman? And he wanted Tom Welling. Bruh. He wanted the movie to be connected to Smallville.
Yeah, that's right.
Because he loves Tom Welling. He loved him so much, especially when he did that episode in Smallville.
Yeah.
So he would always shout out, like, I want Tom Welling to be the next Superman. And it's a shame he never got to see Brandon Routh, because I feel like he would have loved Brandon Routh.
Absolutely. What do you think he would have thought of Henry?
I think he would have liked Henry. I don't think he would have liked Man of Steel.
Yeah, I feel like that would be...
I feel like he Man of Steel... Because Margot Kidder hated it.
Yeah.
She hated it. and she didn't like Amy Adams as Lois Lane, and I feel so bad because everyone kept shunning her because you're like, oh, not only are you like an older Lois Lane, you're mentally ill, so your opinion doesn't count, which is bullshit. Yeah, I don't think Henry would have liked Man of Steel that much. I think he would have liked Henry as a person.
Yeah, I feel so too. And look, I feel like it's, and I said this on Instagram. I said Superman is probably gotten the best comic to screen accuracy castings out of any superhero role. Like we get superhero castings which are like pitch perfect. It's not one actor perfect. You know what I mean? Like RDJ as Iron Man, J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson. But when it comes to like multiple actors playing this character, Superman has had the best one. Because every actor...
Yeah, I think I agree to that. I think I can agree to that.
Like every fucking actor at least looks almost identical. Okay, maybe... I mean... Again, Dean Cain is debatable.
Okay, he was handsome. Yeah. That was it, and that's all they cared about at that time. Because they just wanted to make a romantic comedy, so they just grabbed the hunkiest guy they could find, and he just ended up being the most douchebag.
But look,
I'm not going to
but nonetheless, he has. I guess he has a.
Nonetheless,
he has the '90s Superman look to him. I guess.
Yeah, he's got he's got like that good-looking type of look.
So
to
look,
him during that time to be like, he can be Superman.
So Superman has definitely had the comic-to-screen accuracy in terms of looks, probably the best out of all the actors we've gotten for superheroes.
Yeah. No, I think I agree to that, especially Nicolas Cage.
Oh yes.
Well, especially with the long hair. But yeah, no. So I think Henry Cavill. I would like to see if he has a comment about this.
Oh, yeah.
About David Corenswet being the next Superman. And I feel like he would be like, yeah, I'm for it. Why wouldn't I be? Which will upset all the Snyder cultists. But, yeah, that's the whole thing. You're not a fan of Superman. You just like Henry Cavill. And, there's nothing wrong with that. Henry Cavill's great. But, I was upset. You were upset. It was very upsetting news, and in a lot of ways, yeah, maybe there's still a part of me that's like, I wish you still kept Henry, but because we'll just explain more why I think that in the Flash. But you know what? If it's got to be a whole new Superman, David, and with a whole new Lois, Rachel, that's it. I think that is the best route to go.
Absolutely, and you know what? Like for Lex. There's supposedly, it could be Alexander Skarsgård or Bill Skarsgård, their names. And to be honest, either ones are wins, I could say. I'd say Alexander is definitely probably the more, in terms of...
He's the more mature, I would like Alexander. I really wanted Nicholas Hoult as Luthor, but I guess the story is, like, he never wanted to play Lex Luthor. He never auditioned for Luthor. He auditioned for Superman. And the only reason why I see him as Luthor is because he is so good at playing a character you fucking hate. Yeah. Like in the menu, he is such an arrogant fuck. You just want to punch him in the face. Have you ever seen or heard of the show Skins? Yes. Okay, he is such a fucking C-word in that show. you just wanna punch him in the face, and I feel like he could be a perfect dickhead Lex Luthor. If we never got Billy Zane as Lex Luthor, he could do that Billy Zane type of persona and attitude. With Skarsgårds, both Skarsgårds, I only see especially with Alexander, I only see the more serious kind of Lex Luthor. Yeah. I guess in Superman Lois, which we'll get to in a bit. Or maybe Michael Rosenbaum. I guess maybe he'll have that style. Yeah. Bill. I feel like Bill's a little too baby-faced for that.
I mean, Bill has... It's like a baby face, but it's kind of like a scary baby face.
That's why my friend Amp, shout out Amp, he really wants him as Joker.
Well, of course.
Everybody wants him as Joker, though, but only because I feel like that's a very obvious casting choice. Because is he just gonna do Pennywise again, or will he do something different?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like Alexander to be the Luthor for this universe. I feel like he would be a better fit. And with Bill, like I said, my friend Ant really wants him as Joker, but my only issue with that is, will he just do Pennywise again?
Not just that.
Yeah,
It's not just that, but I feel like it is just a bit of typecasting in a way.
It's very typecasting, yeah.
And
it's almost like what Willem Dafoe said when he would say, everybody wants him to be the Joker, and he's like, oh, good, they want me to be a psychopath. That's very fitting, which, with Willem Dafoe, he's definitely for it, but I feel like with Bill, he'll be like, okay, I want to be normal for once in a movie.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. But no, yeah, David and Rachel, congratulations. James Gunn, you made a great choice. I forgive you for Henry Cavill. I forgive you. I see it now. Maybe later down, like a few years, we'll see Henry again in some Superman thing. Maybe it'll be like when Thomas Jane played the Punisher again for a short. There'll be a short with Henry Cavill. Yeah. So, Laundry Day with Clark Kent.
Oh my god. I fucking love it.
I got a divorce with Lois, and I'm with Lana. Oh wait, no, Lana, I think, died in the Snyderverse. I don't fucking know. But
did she drown in the bus?
No, but there was that line in BVS where he sees that a ghost of his dad, and he told the story of like, oh, we moved a dam to the other side and we saved our barn, but we accidentally flooded the Lane farm. The whole Lane family washed away.
Oh my god!
So what? Did Lana fucking die? What are we doing here?
Bruh, Snyder is just...
Watch that scene again and you'll know what I'm talking. You'll be like, oh my god, did Lana fucking die, or is Lana's life totally destroyed?
Snyder just shits on every Superman supporting character. Fucking Jimmy dies. Fucking,
like he said, he just wanted to do Zack Snyder's Superman. That's all he wanted to do. He's like, I don't know what to do with these characters.
Fuck them.
Because I just want to make Superman bad. So kill them all. I guess.
Whatever. Anyways, we're on to a new hopeful era of Superman. Which we also do.
I hope so.
We also do have that upcoming My Adventures of Superman coming on July 8th.
Voice actor of that show. He hit up, or not hit up, but he tagged David on Twitter, and he was like, "Hey man, he was off Twitter since 2020. He didn't do anything. You look at his replies and likes, he's done nothing except this." And I'm like, my guy came back to Twitter to shout out another Superman. What a fucking legend. Already.
Did you see that video I showed to you, right, where he's like doing a dancing on set, and at the very end of that dance, the S-curl just fucking appears. And I'm like,
it comes naturally to him.
Bruh, I'm just like, the guy's so perfect.
It's like him and Henry. It just comes naturally to them. Yeah. So, no, man, yeah. I'm thinking about that video of, I think it's in Hollywood, where he's like, you got the part. Yes! Yes! Like, his charisma, he's got the charismatic, fucking headphones. He's got the charismatic, side, happy side of Superman. I want to see that Superman flying around, like, at the end, like he's happy. Yeah. It's been a long time since we've seen Superman flying around in a movie, and he's fucking happy. So, yeah. Man, I'm very happy with this casting decision, genuinely.
Me too.
What a sigh of relief. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Holy shit. What a nightmare, too, of like, oh, this guy might be Superman. You're like, oh, God, no. Please, no, don't do that.
Now we just need Jensen Ackles as Batman.
Or who knows, maybe Nicholas Hoult will get it.
Oh, my God. You know what? I mean,
that won't work. No, that won't work because he's young, right? He's like my age or something like that, or maybe a little bit older. And you need a Batman that had a son. I mean, like, yeah, no, that wouldn't work. So if you could get Jensen, because I've said like, why can't they just put Robert Pattinson in this?
Yeah.
As having the Batman, because you built up this whole universe and this whole new Batman, and so what? You can just say, oh, there's a new Batman now. Like, here's your new Batman, and not to mention, let's not forget, Superman Legacy and the Batman Part 2. They come out the same year.
Right.
So that's confusing as fuck, right? I mean, man, how do you explain that? I'm very nervous about that wall.
we are going to have a war in 2025 against Superman fans and Batman
Oh,
fans.
yeah! Oh, absolutely. Mostly, yeah, absolutely. It's going to be catastrophic.
We have never had a year where a Superman movie and a Batman movie comes out at the same time. And there's, like, there's not two characters in the same universe that fans will get at each other's throats for that with Superman and Batman.
It's going to be catastrophic.
Oh my god.
It's going to be a fucking mess.
I know what team I'm on, so...
Yeah, no, absolutely. I don't know, man. I think the Superman one will be okay, but the Batman one, fucking forget about it. It's gonna be, oh man. I'm looking forward and not looking forward to it at the same time.
Oh my god.
Let's just get off Twitter forever.
Yeah, but.
Just fuck Twitter in general.
You know, speaking of fuck Twitter, fuck Twitter, anyways. But I got spoiled off the new episode of Superman Lois because of Twitter. Before
I did too.
Yeah. Let me guess.
If you haven't seen it, we're about to spoil it.
So
because I think we're about to talk about it now, right?
Can I say how it got spoiled for you? Was it by that specific Twitter user Neb's Hot Takes or something like that?
No. It was on Instagram.
Oh, right.
No. It was no. It was a thumbnail on YouTube. Then it was on Instagram.
Right. See,
the thumbnail on YouTube was of Superman like flying in a moon, and the title said Doomsday, and I went, oh fuck. And then I saw Doomsday on Instagram.
Spoiler. Yeah, Doomsday's in the episode. Fuck.
Yeah. Well, I said spoiler alert if you haven't seen it already.
But no, for me, it was like, right, there's this Twitter user who's very popular for posting threads about the Hourverse, right? And he put a post on Superman Lois, and the caption just said, I think, oh my god, holy shit, or something like that. And I was like, okay, what is this? And it was like just the very start of when the music starts playing and like Superman's looking up and then the camera pans up and you see Doomsday just like what's the word? He's falling on the spikes basically.
When he's like kind of elevated himself off the
spikes. It was basically just like Superman looking up and I was like, what's he looking at? And then when I saw Doomsday I was like, what the fuck? So
let me tell you, man. Excellent. Right off the gate. Right off the bat, excellent. Because the fact that it's Bizarro, that's Doomsday. How do you feel about that?
I'd say it's like they heard about what we thought his appearance in Superman and Lois Season 2. We thought that was Doomsday, and they were like, fuck it, let's just turn him.
Oh, they knew exactly what they were doing. They knew exactly what they were doing because they even say there's a Doomsday coming in like episode 2 or 3 of season 2.
Yeah.
Before it was revealed to be Bizarro. They knew exactly what they were doing. So the fact that he is now Bizarro, I personally really love that.
You know what? Superman Lois handled Lex Luthor turning a Kryptonian deceased body into Doomsday better than BVS. Not
to mention, looks so much better.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Like, by a long shot. I love that fucking, like, that
I love that.
bolted to his skin.
I'll say this, though.
I love that.
I do love it. I do love this design. I like it. It's different. I still say the best Doomsday design is the one from Krypton. That is still the best one.
Well, at least that one had... Did that one have hair?
Or maybe a little bit.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit, but it looks a bit more accurate than this one. But
he was like a more leaner Doomsday.
Yeah,
right?
But he looks more traditionally like a Doomsday.
Yeah.
This one, I'll admit, when I first saw it, like when Doomsday lands into the barn, and I was like, oh shit, here we go, we're gonna reveal it now. The camera was coming up, and I was like, yeah. And then when it goes to his face, I was like, yeah, Abomination.
Yeah, he did look a little bit like Abomination a little bit. Yeah, you're right. I mean, well, in BVS, he looked like a troll, cave troll from Lord of the Rings
BVS,
or whatever the fuck that was.
He looked like a cave troll.
A piece of shit.
A cave troll mixed with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Yeah, it did not look good.
Yeah.
Didn't even look like Michael Shannon, because that was supposed to be his eye. Looked nothing like Michael Shannon.
Yeah, but no, I mean, like, look, I mean, like, this Doomsday, like, yeah, it's different, but it's cool. It looks cool. That was the difference between...
What?
No, I was going to say, that's the difference with the BVS. BVS was different, but it looks shit.
Yeah, no, it's shit. Here's the thing about that, because, like, when people see clips of Superman and Lois, and how they do certain things, they always take certain moments as, like, oh, here they go. This is supposed to be like, we're fixing Man of Steel because, you know, Henry Cavill Superman didn't do this, but now that it's not that they're trying to like say they're better than Henry Cavill Superman. They're just having Superman do Superman things.
Yeah. That's
it. So like when you see Doomsday or Superman taking Doomsday, trying to take him to space at first, you know, when they first start fighting. That's not them saying, see, we're better than Henry Cavill Superman. That's just something Superman does. You know, you just you're upset that, you know, no one liked how much of an asshole your version of Superman was. That's all that fucking is. Superman is that guy. He's going to lure this monster away from the people as much as possible. He did that in the Death of Superman comic book.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he didn't do that in Superman Doomsday, but that's because that's just a weird movie. But oh my god, oh my fucking god. Like, I think I knew they were doing Doomsday in that sneak preview they did. That shot of, like, or that voiceover of Lex Luthor going, like, are you ready to die, or whatever, and you see Superman looking up, and it cuts to black or whatever. It was at that moment I was like, are they fucking doing Doomsday?
Bro, I'll be honest. I think for the entirety of the season, I have not watched any of the sneak peeks or trailers for Superman Lois at all. I just went into every episode blind.
I didn't in like the last 5 episodes, except not counting this one. We shouldn't do that because those sneak previews are really bad.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't like those sneak previews. They're very edited terribly, and it's just very confusing. But then when you watch the show, it makes much sense.
Here's a quick review, kinda, on season 3 of Superman Lois. Now, it's definitely the most emotional season. You know, and it's definitely a lot more family-centric season, and steamy as well. Very steamy as well.
Oh my god! Especially
this episode. Everyone's fucking. Everyone's getting
Everyone's
fucking. Everyone's getting pregnant. You know. Shit, but
good lord.
But oh yeah, and like you said, I have not gotten so emotional about 2 people about to fuck before.
Oh my god! The second she was like, I'm ready to be intimate again, I was like, holy fuck, what am I doing? They're fucking now, why am I crying?
Bruh, the second Lois did say, I'm ready, I was like, sex? I was literally, admittedly like that.
Yeah. Wow. Oh my goodness.
But yeah, that was a really good moment too. Yeah, like
that was a great moment.
But like, listen, this entire season, I was enjoying it. To be honest, I wasn't enjoying it as much as season 1. Season 1, I still think is a better overall season.
Me too.
But like, I was enjoying it, but then at a lot of points, I was getting a bit kind of like. Not because that there was a lack of Superman stuff, because this is definitely the least.
It's the more Lois-centered.
And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, really, but I mean, there is a part of me that where at times like, man, I would really like to see Superman do some Superman stuff right now, or something like that.
Well, what I thought of it was there just wasn't that much focus. Like, besides Lois, because she was, obviously, she was the main focus of that season. But there wasn't that much focus on the Kents. There was way too many focus on the extras. And we'll talk about the extras in a bit. There was so many, like, I don't care about Kyle. I don't care about Chris. Well, I like Chrissy, but I only like her as, this show's version of Jimmy Olsen. I'm really over Jordan and whatever the hell her name is.
Yeah.
And no disrespect to the actress or the character, I just can't remember her name. His ex.
Yeah.
Lana's kid. I don't care. I just don't care.
That's
and, Lana's fine, but I don't need to see her that much.
Honestly, right. I mean, I've loved Superman Lois so much, since season 1. But definitely one of the things that I do kind of not like that much about it is definitely some of the supporting cast and the focus on them so much, and it's more so to do with Lana and her family. I'm just like, it feels like
I like the Irons.
Yeah, the Irons I kind of like, Like, this season was
I don't mind them at all.
I think it has definitely gotten to a point where it's like, what the fuck do we do with them now? Like, they're just kind of just hanging around.
Yeah, no.
So, I kind of understand why this next season, which, I mean, like, they've set it out now, there's going to be a budget cut with season 4. It's lucky that we're getting a fucking season 4. We'll say that. But it's crazy
especially after that final shot.
It's crazy to think that the way they knew how the season was ending, that they were considering canceling it if that was the season finale. If that was the series finale, that would be the fucking meanest slap in the face
meanest
a TV show has ever done. I can't, holy shit. And I thought Spectacular Spider-Man ended on a distasteful note for us. But Jesus, this is...
Well, the rumor was if this show got canceled, they would have gone to HBO Max, or Max, whatever the fuck it's called. I'm not sure, though. Because I don't know, because the more I learn about it, CW probably did have more say on this, and HBO was just a budget.
Basically. I do think CW had more on it than HBO Max did.
So unfortunately, we're losing Lana's family, we're losing Kyle, we're losing Chrissy, we're losing Sam Lane, and we're losing the Irons.
We're losing Sam Lane, right? But the way this season...
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I'm gonna get... Yep, let me go on that really quick. So is he just dead? Are we never going to see him again? Because whoever that woman was that worked with Lex, in my head I believe that was... In my head canon, until they confirm it, that's Mercy Graves. But she said he's not going to be a problem anymore. Or whatever she said. And I'm like, did you just fucking kill him off screen? Is that what we're doing? And so what's gonna happen now? So everybody in that meteor shower part of Smallville, they see Superman fighting, Doomsday, and they're looking, like, you have the Irons that are looking, they're shocked. You have Lana and their family, they're looking shocked, and Kyle's running away. So what's gonna happen in the season 4 premiere? Is whatever's gonna happen, the moon going down. And then they're gonna be like, "All right, see ya," and that's it. Is that literally what we're doing?
Right, I have a worrisome thing. Right, that season 4 is gonna start, and they're not gonna show what happens on the moon because they can't fucking afford to do it, and it's just gonna be like.
I'm very worried about season 4.
Yeah, I am so worried with the budget cut that they're just not gonna show that fight. It just happens. And then we just see Superman come back, whether he's alive or dead, I don't know. I feel personally, for a series end, I feel they should kill him off. Just kill him off for the entire season, and then have him come back at the end.
I wouldn't say for the entire season, but I do think they should do a Death of Superman route, because I think I would like to see a take on the Death of Superman where he's already a dad. How does that affect, the twins? And that, oh my god, that's so tragic, because Lois just got her cancer cured, and
that's
now
why
Clark's
I think
dead.
that should happen. It also, I think it's great for the story to boost Jordan as a character. And, and
absolutely.
really make him become... It can also tackle the reign of the Superman sort of sense, basically, and have Superboy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely. I would like it if, here we go again. I would like it if they do, a Superman Lives type of, vibe, where, you see whatever, fortress he's got now. He's in a regeneration, bath. and I want to see him in that thing, and I would like it if they do flashbacks.
Huh.
So, like, have some present-day moments mostly focused on Lois and the boys. And then have Jordan fully become whatever superhero he wants to be. But have the main focus be, you could say, Clark in the regeneration suit, and he's getting flashbacks, and he's remembering, like, why he needs to get up and keep going. And just have that be the main focus. And then in the last 5 episodes of that, so he gets the fucking black suit, and I wanted to do a legitimate black suit. Not like just, it's the same suit he had, but it's just all black now. No, I want that fucking, with the white cuffs, and the rocket-powered boots, and the big silvery S with the long
gives
mullet.
Tyler Hoechlin the excuse as well to really just grow out the beard he always has.
Just say fuck it and grow that beard. Yeah. I think that would be the perfect route to go. And who knows? You know what? I seriously doubt this will be the last we will see of those extras. Because when they say they're gone forever, like, I believe they're gone for a long time, but there's got to be at least one shot of, like, Lana. Just say, hey, remember me? I'm here.
I'm not sure if they're cut completely or they're just guest stars, basically, rather than just being.
I would not mind if they're guest stars. I totally would not mind that.
I think that's the case for some of them. Like, I think it said that Lana is just being guest starred rather than the series regular. I think that's the case for some of them.
Yeah.
I think for the case of Sam,
totally on board.
For the case for
that.
Sam Lane, he's just cut completely. Like, he is just not going to show up.
Well, did you see, like, I don't know if this is real or not, but did you see, like, that actor announcing that he wasn't coming back?
Yes.
That played. It felt petty.
Yeah, he sounded pissed off.
He was like, I guess I'm not coming back. That's just the way it is. Bye. Like, those were very much his words, and we're like, okay, this is not something that everyone agreed on, obviously. This is something pretty tragic.
Yeah, like, it sounded like it was like he was just, like, pissed off, like, yep, that's how it goes, goodbye.
Yeah, he didn't even say goodbye, it was just bye.
Jesus Christ.
So, like, oh man, that's rough, man. That's a rough one. And so what? It's just the Iron's not going to be involved? Are you going to do a Reign of Superman without Steel?
I know. That's the other thing. I think Irons, like the Irons are definitely, they've been cut as well. I'm not sure if they're just guest starring. I hope in the case if they're doing the Reign of Superman story that we do see like John Henry Irons, and it's just a guest star of him being Steel for an episode or two with Superboy, and he's like, okay, I see you've got this shit, alright? I'm gonna fuck off to Metropolis with my daughter and go.
Hey guys, I'm here. Alright, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, man. What a tragic way to, like, move on to the next season.
But thankfully, what's his face? The actor who plays Lex, he's
really good.
He's really good.
Really good.
Really fucking good.
Really
Kingpin vibes. I got so much from him. Kind of a bit.
It's different. It's a different Lex. Like, in so many ways.
It feels like Kingpin mixed with, like, a character from Sons of Anarchy. Like, just a motorbiker type of dude.
Yeah, he's listening to grunge music.
Yeah, and
he's got that big ass fucking goatee,
and he has leather jackets and shit. He's like, I didn't get a rich man vibe off him at all. I just got like, this is a dude.
No, I'm like, what do you mean he's like the Lex Luthor? What do you mean he's got a Lex? This guy? He's got a Lex. This guy's the CEO of LexCorp. That guy. How?
This fucking guy who walked like an entire day to Kent Farm after he left prison.
Now that was cold as fuck.
Bro, I mean, he's like, listen, I've been sedentary in this prison for like over a decade. I gotta get my steps in. You know, I gotta hit those 50,000 steps that I've missed these past 20,000 years.
I'm doing the Lex Luthor walk diet.
Yes.
It's a fucking nightmare.
Walk.
You could be like that guy in TikTok who walked around the entire country wearing a mascot outfit. How many calories is that? Holy fuck. Jesus. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Well, no, I love that version. That scene when like they kept killing Bizarro to be like, so you can't get killed this way again, and they're both just screaming at each other. Like, what a test of testosterone, man! What a insane, fucking insane. I loved
that
it.
moment, and I was like, I want to see the on-set version of that, of just Tyler and him literally just screaming at each other's face, not with like. Obviously, they modulated Tyler's voice to sound like Bizarro. I just want to hear them, like, with their proper voices just screaming at each other. I just want to see that on set.
Just like, ah! Fucking...
Yeah.
Oh, and they were, like, doing Superman Doomed from, like, the New 52. Like, when you saw, like, Bizarro Superman chained up, it looked like Superman Doomed, so that was a cool callback.
Yeah. But... they're making him a series regular, I think, in season 4.
They announced that he'll be a series regular,
which is
great.
Good.
That's great news.
That's good.
Wham, man, oh man, holy shit, man! Also, that fight that checked all the marks you need for a Superman versus Doomsday fight, and it didn't feel like, oh, I've seen this already. It somehow still felt like. Not new, but it's like you know what the outcome's gonna be. You know how it's gonna go, and you're still watching like, holy fuck, Superman's getting his ass whooped. And the reason why is, again, no one fucking cared when Superman died in BVS because this was his second movie. He's barely in that movie as it is, and whenever he is in it, he doesn't say a fucking word.
I'll be honest.
And so when he dies, you feel
I'll be honest,
nothing.
right? Back in 2016, I did get emotional solely because I was a very emotional teenager at that stage. That I just went through a breakup, so I was emotional at everything. bloody that shit. But also, I was more so sad because I was watching, like, just. As a Superman fan, I was like, Superman's dead. Oh my god, this is sad. And I kind of looked at it in that aspect rather than really looking at it from the movie's point of view of like watching this depiction of Superman, like a character who feels so bleak and has barely anything to do and says nothing, and rather just looking at it from a Superman point of view of like, oh my god, Superman, my favorite hero, he's dead. I'm so sad. And I was crying and shit and really emotional. I'll look at it now.
And, like, it was just such a random jump, too, of, like, oh, I want to kill Superman now. Oh, wow, I'm really sad he's dead. My best friend is dead. I failed him. And what the fuck are you talking about?
I mean, like, I look at it now, and I don't really feel anything anymore. I'm just like...
I feel nothing.
Yeah.
I'm like, what a goofy scene. Like, the music's nice.
Great.
We can say that. Music's nice. And, if in a better movie... That's a nice way to handle that moment.
It is definitely. It's a nice way to handle it. Yeah, like if this was done in a later DCEU film and this is how it went, yeah, it works. But like for how it was on its own, it's a cool scene. That's it. That's basically it. On its own, it's a cool scene. But in context to everything else, it's like too soon. Too soon.
Yeah, no, too fucking soon. With this, obviously we've known this version of Superman a lot longer. Like, back in 2016 when he showed up in Supergirl, and then he showed up again in all those other crossovers, then finally he had his own show. And these 3 seasons, we've known who he is. We know, like, we know what kind of man he is. We know who he loves. We know, we're so connected to this version of Superman.
You and me...
So we don't want him to die.
You and me even discussed at some points that maybe he has already gone through this phase in his life. Because he's that...
Probably,
Like, that was definitely Superman, but, like, has he gone through this before? Like, has he died before? Because he's a veteran Superman. He's done this for ages. So there was definitely that sense of, like, if he's died before, then... Okay, cool. And maybe it's brought up at some point in a season where, like, someone says, oh, he dies, and then these kids are like, wait, you fucking died and you didn't tell us? Or some shit?
That's what I was hoping they would do. So I was hoping, like, season 2, it would have been Doomsday again, and we would have gotten flashbacks to those times. And, a little quick shout-out to a black suit Superman. Or Solar Suit, as it's actually called. Because I feel like that would be really good storytelling of like Clark being like, well, I did die before, and everyone like, what the fuck are you? What do you mean? Because I had like a thought in my head where like, what if like this is fucking dark, but I had a thought like, what if like Lana's kid died, like her like the daughter died, and it was Jordan's girlfriend, and Jordan's like so upset, going like, oh my god, she's died, she's gone forever, and you know, when you're dead, you're gone forever, and Clark's like, well. Well, and Jordan's like, what are you talking about? That was like I was so scared that's where they were gonna go. But no, I think this is the better route to go. It's different, it's new. We haven't seen anything like this. Who knows? Maybe they won't kill him.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll just knock him out, and he'll just be floating limp in space.
I'll be honest. I'll be kind of disappointed if season 4 starts and
Clark says, "I'm fine."
That or like the fight. Let's just say they somehow get enough funds to actually finish the fight, but it's like like an extra maybe 2 minutes, and it's done. Superman wins. That's it. You throw.
He
throws him in.
It'll feel like the Flash.
It's like he throws him in the sun or some shit, and that's it. I'll be a bit like,
He won't even throw him. It'll be like what Supergirl did. If he'll just punch him or laser beam. He'll laser beam him, and he'll go flying into the sun. That's a CW budget cut for you right there.
Yeah, because this kind of reminded me, right, of like on the topic of the Flash season 1 season finale level of like season finale like anxiety of like, oh my god, what the fuck, what happens next. I kind of hope it's kind of handled a bit better than the way the Flash season 2 started, where it was just like Barry goes in and then Firestorm goes in and gets him out. That was it.
Oh yeah, and he's dead now.
That was it. I kind of hope
it's like, what do you mean he's dead?
I don't know. I mean, it's been a long time since I've seen that episode or whatever, but
I remember that. I don't know how I remember all that, but I remember being very like confused and like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I'm very worried about season 4. The budget cuts.
Very worried, but
man,
on this episode alone,
what a finale though.
I was gonna say, on this episode alone, it's kind of weird because it has everything, right? It has everything.
It has
everything Superman and Lois has kind of like built up in a way, basically. Like it has satisfying endings. It's kind of weird, right? Like I was watching this episode, and I was getting to the middle point, and I was like, there's too much good happening right now. Like everyone is happy. Everyone's happy.
Yeah.
Everyone's going on dates. Everyone's getting good news and shit. And then the moment Clark turns and he hears the mayor's been killed, I'm like, it started. The shit show starts now. Here we go. Now it's flipped. And I was right. That's where like the tables have turned.
And what was it like? Then it said 33 days ago, and it's back to Lex training Bizarro, and I'm like, oh fuck me, here we go. Poor Cal though. That poor Cal.
And like, that's
man.
Otis who gets his ear ripped off, isn't it?
That is Otis.
Jesus Christ. Remember,
because Otis was the one. Remember, Otis was the one that beat him up in jail initially, and then Lex, took over, and he was the one that Lex was sitting on when he was having his dinner, and now he gets his ear ripped off by Bizarro. First of all, if you get attacked by a Bizarro, or like a zombie Bizarro, you're lucky that it's your fucking ear that
I was
lost.
Like, really?
So.
I was like, bro, I thought the second he gets on you, I thought you just die from the impact alone.
That's a reference to Forever Evil, if you read Forever Evil, because it's Otis, who is like a janitor-like kind of character in LexCorp, and he is with Lex Luthor, and they're walking around like LexCorp, and Lex shows him like, okay, I want you to cease this, and it's Bizarro. It's the introduction to New 52 Bizarro, and Otis is like, oh my god, what is that? And then he's like, I want you to see exactly what this version of Superman can do. Hey, food or something. And then you just see Bizarro leap after Otis, and he rips him apart. I thought that's what they were going to fucking do. But it's like, oh, he just lost his ear. Oh, alright. I guess, okay,
it's
sure.
It's funny that we still...
Maybe I would have preferred that, because I don't see this version of Otis doing anything.
It's funny that we still get, like, some callbacks or interactions of, like, Otis in general. Because he is, like, a made-up character from Superman movie, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, like...
It's like the same thing with Harley Quinn. She was a made-up character for that show. Mercy Grace was made up for that show, and
they do shit like, for example, the first thing I can remember of it is like, or even noticing it at least, it was in Batman Arkham Knight, where they literally name an island Otisburg, and I'm like, what?
That was weird. That was so bizarre. That was like, there's no way that's not a reference to that. There's no fucking way.
Wow. Okay.
I don't know, who knows? Maybe there is a famous town somewhere called Otisburg, and it's just a reference to that.
Gotham Knights did it as well. They continued it. Yeah. Yeah.
What? Wait, the video game or the show? There's an Otisburg in the game?
There's just an Otisburg in Gotham City in general now. Well, I mean, Lex Luthor said you can't have it in California, mate. I'm sorry. So he's like, right, I'm just going to have Otisburg in...
Otisburg?
Yes. So, you can't have it in California? I'll have it in Gotham. No one wants shit in Gotham.
Yeah. Otis, you can live in Gotham. Okay. Mika, poor Ned Beatty.
But yeah, amazing episode of Superman and Lois Season 3. Unfortunately... It's a bit worrisome of having such a great finale, and
this needs to be the final season.
This needs to be the final season. And like I said, I feel like the death and return of Superman is a good way to end your season. Like, it is a great story to end it on. And the way, like, just for the family side of it as well, I feel it's a great story, especially for Jordan, to really build that character. And maybe even have bloody Jonathan built as a character as well and become a type of superhero in a way I could see. I mean, because he's definitely had some like hints to it, like working with Steel in like season 2. Didn't he like help with like his weapons or some shit at some point?
I think so. Yeah, he did.
Well, I mean.
Yeah, he made them the steel boots.
So there could be something with that. I don't know. I don't know if I want to see Jonathan become Iron Man or some shit like that, but... I
mean, he practically already is every time they do that fucking Iron Man cam, which I'm so sick of by this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I would like... Here's something maybe they could do. I would like it if Lex Luthor found a way to steal that armor, and he paints it like green and purple. Yes. And that's just the Lex suit. And you see like black suit, solar suit Superman fighting that version of Luthor. That would make me happy, but how would that look on a show with a cut budget?
Did Supergirl do that with Lex? Did they give him a... They did, right.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, it did not look good. I remember vividly, there's that scene where... I mean, John Cryer as Luthor was fine, but I do remember there was that scene where like he puts on the suit, he's got a helmet on, he's flying around, blowing shit up, and he's singing My Way by Frank Sinatra. And I'm thinking, what is happening? Dude, what are we doing? So maybe in a lot of ways, I'm glad that's not the route they're going. Now it's just, he'll listen to AC/DC probably. Oh no, my God, he is Iron Man. Oh no. Oh my God. Okay, I'm glad they didn't do that. Oh my God. Oh Jesus. Oh, it's listen, if they think they could continue a season 5, good luck. Because what do you do after the death and return of Superman?
I don't think...
I mean, okay. Like, for an early Superman, there's plenty of things you can do. But for a veteran Superman, what do you do?
Honestly, I feel like 4 seasons is good enough, I guess. I mean... Yeah, I think it's good enough. I mean, like, look, in hindsight, a good series, you'd probably want it to last maybe 5. Like, I mean, look, in a perfect world, it'd be nice to see this get 8 seasons, basically, of good content, basically, I'd say. But, like, it's not going to happen. And,
No.
You know, I feel like giving it 4 seasons is fine. I mean, if you had asked me back in Season 2 if, like, Season 2 or Season 3 was the end of it, I'd be like, no, please don't end it like that.
No, keep going.
Give it, and I said, like, one more season, Season 4, 4 seasons, that's enough, that's plenty of content, that's good. And it gives them...
You want to know? You want to hear another reason
What?
to worry? I just thought of this. So when Season 2 aired, and that episode, it was like Episode 1 or Episode 2, it was announced that Season 3 was renewed. Like, immediately. How long did it take before Season 4 was announced?
It's true.
That's a scary thought. That is a very scary thought.
To be honest, I don't know if this will be the case, but I really hope we don't get another Gotham Season 5 situation.
What happened with Gotham Season 5? I don't remember.
It was like... I'm not sure if I think there was a budget cut, but there was also like an episode order cut, which I do know there is an episode order cut for Season 4. Like, it's like down to 10 episodes, I think. Isn't it 10?
Which is
it's fine with me. I feel like you could tell a really good story with 10 episodes. That's fine.
As long as it's not 6 episodes, because I think having a show with 6 episodes is a fucking insult. I'm looking at you, Secret Invasion.
Or practically...
Your fucking AI intro.
Any fucking Marvel Disney Plus show, it's always like 6 episodes. I'm like, just make it a fucking movie.
It's an insult that Kenobi was only 6 episodes. I'll defend Kenobi, but that's a fucking insult.
But yeah, I mean, like, look, 10 episodes is fine. But I think with Gotham Season 5, they like... What was it? It was rushed. It just felt rushed. Basically.
But wasn't like the final episode like 10 years later? Like out of
that
nowhere?
As well, and it was just so clear with Gotham. I think it's a different story with Gotham basically, because like with Gotham Season 5, it was just so clear that was not meant to be their series finale. Like this was just meant to be another arc in the series, but they just like
felt like the pilot to the show we wanted to watch.
Okay, that's a good example, actually.
That's the show I wanted to see. I'm like, listen, a Batman show where Batman is just there, like, on the sides, but it's mostly focused on, like, say, the villains and the GCPD. I want that so bad. Like, I can't stress how much I want that. I was hoping that would be maybe that's what Matt Reeves will do with his universe, since we're getting that Joker, Penguin spinoff. But, yeah, no. I remember being very pissed off about that finale.
Yeah. But, look, I mean, I'm just glad they have one more season to really end it on their terms. That's all I wanted for one more season, just to give them a chance to end on their terms. So, hopefully, they make use of the budget.
I'm rooting for
them, and I hope they take this budget cut as not necessarily like a downgrade, but more so as a challenge to tell the best story they can with that budget. You know?
And they were scared, too. Like, you could tell, like, Ryan something, I can't remember his name. He's always on Instagram a lot. You know who I mean.
I know what you're talking about.
Okay, so he interviewed Tyler Hoechlin and Betsy Tulak, and they said when they announced that, when he was, congratulations on Season 4, Tyler was like, oh, thank you, man. We are so relieved, because that finale we just did, it would make everything more complicated. We are so happy we can continue that story, because once you guys see the finale, you'll shit bricks. Yeah. And, they're right. But, man, the fact that they said that Season 3 ended on a cliffhanger, despite all the news that was going on, fucking ballsy. So, like, wow. CW just doesn't deserve this show at all. not one bit.
Oh, perfect timing.
We just came back at the same time.
It's like we have the same brains.
The second I entered my room, I saw you walking camera. I was like, all right, motherfucker.
Okay.
Motherfucker.
All right. Well, I suppose that's it for Superman Lois. I think we've talked.
Yeah, any final thoughts, if I can quickly think of? I loved the season a lot.
Yeah,
the
I think
was very,
you had
very... I found it the most
yeah,
emotional.
I think you enjoyed it a lot more than I did.
Well, I'll tell a quick personal story. I won't get too much into it, but I had a cousin that passed away with the same kind of cancer Lois Lane had, and I mentioned that on a post about it on Twitter. I think it was by Ryan. I'm not sure. But I said the same thing. I was like, I had a cousin that passed away with the same cancer Lois had, and Betsy Tulloch and the rest of the cast and crew, they fucking nailed the heaviness of that whole situation. And Betsy Tulloch responded. And, she said she was sorry for the loss, and she gave me a heart, and, that meant a lot to me at the time. It is a small thing, but I really appreciated, just that shout-out. And I really appreciated how she handled this. I think, again, this settled it for me. Until we see Rachel, Betsy Tulloch is my favorite Lois Lane for this season. The way it's just... I always loved her as Lois, but once this show aired, a mature Lois Lane is always something that I like more than, I guess what Smallville did, where even, in silly moments, even, in serious moments, she always cracked a joke every, few minutes whatsoever. Yeah, no. Such a real, such a grounded, such an intense season, and I thought it was handled with so much care and so much passion. Interesting choice to have a Green Arrow villain in the majority of this season with Onomatopoeia. Wow, the fact that they weren't used in the Arrow show at all. But this show had such a good budget, you see why. And I thought she was fucking great. I loved everything about Brutal Mayhem. I loved everything about Onomatopoeia. I wanted more of Steel. I felt like John Henry Irons was kind of casted aside in this season. I really wish he was in it more.
I was a bit worried, right, of how late they brought Lex in. When they brought him in at the very penultimate.
Yeah, that's true.
I was like,
yeah,
okay. See, because I sent you a message, right, saying, it feels like in this last episode they're bringing in another arc, especially when they end it and they show Bizarro, and I'm like, it feels like they're throwing in another arc for this season, but it's got a couple of episodes left. I'm like, really, how are they gonna do this? And so,
it felt like a totally different season when Lex showed up, didn't it?
Season. I'm like, okay, what? It kind of reminded me a bit of actually Back to Gotham as well. But Gotham was it handled it a bit differently. But it kind of reminded me of season 4 at the very end, where Jeremiah all of a sudden takes over the show, and it kind of remember season 4 was kind of all about Jerome and his villains and shit, and it just ends with Jeremiah becoming the Joker, and then
I hated that shit. Not to get into Gotham because it's a dead show, but I hated that so bad. I'm like, just stick to Jerome. What the fuck are you doing? But no, I see what you mean. Yeah, it had that vibe. I was even thinking your example was better than mine, because I was thinking Book of Boba Fett.
Oh yeah.
And how it was Book of Boba Fett, and then it was Mandalorian season 3, and it was just what? I mean, it's good. I like it, but these are two different things. Oh, now you're going back to Book of Boba Fett. What is going on? But thankfully, I think this did it better than Book of Boba Fett. And, I want season 4 to be good, but, with all this news that's been going on, I'm so concerned, because damn, that finale was so good. So good. Oh my god. That was... Man,
but
what a great time to be a Superman fan until season 4 comes out. I hope not. I genuinely hope not. But
yo, Future Patrick here. Just let you know that this is part 1 of this entire original 4-hour podcast. So next half of this podcast will be the review for The Flash, which is another 2 hours long. So I figured I would cut this into 2 parts. And have this half be for all the Superman news and Superman Lois, and we'll go to The Flash with the next part of the podcast. So just let you know, stay tuned to that, and if it's up, I'll leave it at the end of this video. So there you go. Take care. See you all there. Bye. Mwah.